So I'm really not trying to do more at this point. I'm only trying to do the things that will actually move the needle forward toward my goal. Let's break it down. 3 steps. Step 1, the goal. So there's 3 moves to this. You pick a clear weekly outcome. For me, my goal is 4 listing appointments a week. My current average conversion is 25% on listing appointments, and that does fluctuate up and down. But if I get 4 appointments a week, I will get at least 1 listing per week, which equates to 4 per month, which ultimately leads to this current year's goal for listings taken. So once you have that goal, you have to reverse engineer and find out what those metrics are going to be for you, whatever that may be. I've figured out mine. You'll have to figure out yours. Then you break them into simple, actionable steps. For me, it's phone calls and follow-up. Real simple, real easy. Who am I calling? How often am I calling? How long am I calling? I've got it breaking down pretty granularly. I've got to make about 100 phone calls to get about 10 people to answer the phone. Out of those 10 people, one of them is a worthy contact that I can potentially set an appointment with. So each day I have to make several hundred phone calls. I've also got broken down exactly whom I'm calling. This is how I've taken my goal and stretched it into actionable steps. The other portions sort of take care of themselves. The Airbnb that we're running, it kind of just books itself. So the only thing we have to do there is just manage our schedule. So that part's pretty straightforward. The flip that we have going on, it's the same thing. I handle logistics in the evening. I check on it once a day. Otherwise, it sort of handles itself until it's time to list it. So, one goal, break it down into simple, actionable steps that you can track and measure. For me, I track and measure all my stuff on a simple habit tracker. It's not fancy, it's not too much, it's exactly what's needed for me to be able to tangibly see that I am, in fact, moving the needle forward. So, example, this month, just to put it all out there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've been on 9 appointments. We have a week left, so I got to bump them numbers up. I should be at 12 appointments at this point, and we have already taken 3 listings. So I've got 1 more listing to go before I've met my month's goal. So that's how it works. It's that simple. I can sit there and measure it. You know, I don't have to wonder. I don't have to guess. It's clear. Okay. So the daily scoreboard is kind of step number 2, and this is what kind of keeps you on track and keeps you focused throughout each day. You pick a couple of items, you know, for me it's these habits, and that's how you decide if you had a successful day, is if those items got completed. So I hate to keep harping on it, but again, back to the simple habit tracker. Each day, if you'll notice, there's certain ones that are highlighted. Those are the absolutes for each day. Some of the other items on the habit tracker are outcomes from action that I don't have as much control over, but the highlighted versions are straight up actions that they need to be complete every day. If I complete them every day, that day is a success. That's how it works. So that's my daily scoreboard. So as long as I've hit the highlighted items, that's my bare minimum. That's how I know I'm on track. So next thing is you actually have to get to work, right? So chunk your day up. I typically am doing about 2 to 3 hour chunks, and I take breaks on every hour. So the first part of my day, the first 3 hours, is all outbound prospecting. And I break about every hour, and I've also got 3 groups of people that I'm calling and reaching out to. Then I transition. My next chunk of the day is going to be admin active client stuff. So everybody that I'm currently servicing, I got to actually get to work and handle my job. So that's going to be, you know, all the active listings. If I'm working with a buyer, anything to do with the flip or the Airbnb, I'm handling all that stuff in the next chunk of the day. And of course, life happens. I mean, the days are going to flex, but this is the basic way that I structure it. It's actually set up that way on the habit tracker. I put the outbound actions at the top of the habit tracker, the other actions downward, and it just kind of flows the same way that I want my day to operate. So you got to actually get to work. You got to put this stuff into action. okay? Because without action, all the planning in the world doesn't matter. All the goal setting in the world doesn't matter. Setting the goal, reverse engineering it, putting it on paper, and figuring out exactly what needs to happen does not matter if you are not actually doing it. And the doing it is the crappy part. That's the part that's hard. That's the part that everybody struggles with. The planning part is actually kind of exciting. You get a little bit of a dopamine release from that. When you're setting the goals and thinking about what that may look like if those goals actually happen, all that kind of stuff can be really exciting. But when you start actually having to do the work, you lose that momentum and you lose that excitement, and then it's actually you just sitting there having to push through, okay? But that's why I like having the tracker there, because I can see the daily results. I can see that I'm literally moving the needle closer to my goal, because I know definitively that the actions I'm doing every day are in line and will push me to the outcome. It just is going to take time, but I have something tangible that I can grab hold of in those moments of weakness. So whatever you're working on, this is the 3 steps that I take to keep myself focused on what I'm working on. Maybe you can apply it to what you're working on. Comment below. Let me know what you guys are working on. I'd love to know. And, just reach out. I'm happy to help if I can. And we'll see you next time.